Barrel! Fine craftsmanship. That'll work. There's plenty of work to go around.
Option deactivated. Option activated.
Ah, the Hall of Warriors! The Hall of Warriors is ready. There's plenty of work to go around. Clear the way! Just taking a breather. Build it! What do we need built? We have the best materials. Coming through! Who called for some guardians? Who called for some guardians? The Hall of Warriors is ready. Building materials.
What about these goblins over here?
Let's get to work. Here they are! We've built the archery range. Who called for some
Option
guardians?
activated.
Who called for some guardians? Who called for some guardians? Who called for some guardians? Let's get to the building. They attack!
They're destroying our work!
Where is the build site? Can't build there. Give us some room.
No time for standing about.
Archery range is in for some guardian.
It's a goblin cave.
Build it. Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Ah, the Hall of Warriors. Get tired. What do we need built?
You have yet to see
plenty of work to go around. The Hall of
I have
Warriors
the strength to protect my people. I will lead the dwarves into battle.
None can withstand the fury of the
Who
dwarves.
called for some guardians?
I, King Dane, will lead you.
Who called for some
expanded the
guardians?
archery range. We found the enemy's camp. Careful, dwarves.
Who called
the
for some
enemy's
guardian? Who called for some guardians?
They're tearing our buildings down.
Trust me.
We're under attack.
Take heed. Do it. Get
Who
in
called
there.
for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian?
Well, look at this. The enemy's camp. Our structures. Hurry!
Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian?
No. Watch out! It's about time.
Who called for some
Gather some
guardian?
axes, dwarves.
Gather some
How about
axes,
some
dwarves.
fighting?
Who called for
Let's
some
get
guardian?
in there! The enemy's here! Ready on weapons!
Who called for some guardian?
Forward!
Who called for some guardians?
They're tearing our buildings down! There's their buildings!
Who called for some
banner
guardians?
carriers
Who
now.
called for some
Gather
guardians?
some
Who called for some guardians?
This way, dwarves!
Who called for some guardians?
Watch out!
Who called for some guardians?
It's them! The enemy!
Gather Who called for some guardians? Who called for some guardians?
some axes, dwarves! We found the enemy's camp! We've expanded
We
the
have the
Hall of
best
Warriors.
materials. Who called for
To
some guardians?
arms!
Who called for some guardians? Who called for some guardians?
Take cover!
Gather Who called for some guardians? Gather some axes, dwarves.
Get ready, dwarves!
We'll rip it apart!
Careful, dwarves! The enemy's here!
Dwarves!
They're after our buildings!
Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian?
Get ready, dwarves! Weapons, dwarves!
Gather
Weapons!
some axes. Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Gather some axes, dwarves.
Follow me!
Who called for some guardian?
Grab your weapons!
Who called for some guardians?
Keep up
Gather
now!
some
I know
axes,
that
dwarves.
smell! It's the enemy!
Who called for some guardians? Who called for some
Keep
guardians?
those axes buildings down!
Gather some axes, dwarves.
They attack! Their fortress is
We shall
close.
wait. Who called for some
Keep
guardian?
moving.
Who called for some
Outpost
guardian?
may be of
Who
use.
called for some guardian?
Watch out!
Gather some axes, dwarves. Who called for some guardian?
Keep those axes ready!
Who called for some guardian? Gather some axes, dwarves.
I can't stay
Who
here!
called for some guardian?
Keep moving!
Who called for some guardian?
It's built up here already! Weapons, dwarves! Weapons! They're after
Gather
our
some axes,
buildings!
dwarves. Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian?
Stay alert now!
Gather some axes, dwarves.
I won't be long! No!
Gather some
Stay
axes,
together,
dwarves.
Get away from the
Who
fire!
called for some guardian? Who called for some
Well, look
guardian?
at this! The enemy's
Grab
camp.
your weapons!
They attack! Go!
Gather some axes, dwarves. Who
Get
called
ready,
for some guardian?
dwarves.
Who called for
Forward.
some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Gather some axes, dwarves.
Grab your weapons! Get them
Don't
away
fall
from our
behind.
buildings! The enemy's here!
Our weapons
your
cut with
weapons!
ease. Gather some axes, dwarves.
How about some fighting? We can't see where it's coming from!
We shall wait. Who called for some
let the fire
guardian?
too
Who
close.
called
It's
for some
about time.
guardian?
Enemy's
Who
camp.
called for some guardian?
Our structures! How dare they attack the builder! They're attacking! Axe throwers! Keep those axes ready! The fire! Watch out for the fire!
Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian?
That's the enemy! There's their buildings! They're after our buildings! We've expanded the Hall of Warriors! We've expanded the Hall of Warriors! Weapons, dwarves! Weapons! Axes! Move it out! No!
Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian? Who called for some guardian?
Careful, dwarves! The enemy's here! They've picked up the ring! I won't be long! They're attacking! Get ready, dwarves! Get it there! They've built up here already! Our structures! Stay alert now. They found the ring! Just as we like them. Hear me out.
Let's protect our own.
Duck! They attack! Watch it! That drink breathes fire!
called for some guardians? Who called for some guardians? The choice is clear.
Enemy's camp.
Do it. Who called for some guardians?
Get them away from our
Rally together!